Hello my friends and welcome. We have some awesome news. Finally, Ukraine was able to target one of the main Russian gas and oil ports, Ust-Lug, near to St. Petersburg. Wow. The port is located really far away from Ukraine, more than 1,300 kilometers. Nevertheless, some sort of the drone or drones, as it was reported by locals, there were several explosions, at least 2 of them, so they managed to go to that port and cover all of that distance. It's crazy. So here we have the city of St. Petersburg, the second biggest Russian city after Moscow, and here is the port of Ust-Luga. Let's go for it and let's switch to the satellite image and you'll see all of the infrastructure. So this part is probably for coal or other goods like that, and this one as well. But here we have gas and oil terminal, which was actually targeted. Plus you can see that the great part of the port is still under construction, but it could be a very old image because from the information we have, Ust-Luga is one of the newest Russian ports. It was built several years ago and was equipped with the most modern equipment that was mostly produced in Germany. Some of the equipment was made especially for this unique port, and now it's being destroyed or severely damaged. Also, if we check out this video that I showed you at the very beginning of this video, you may see that not just the fire was the main cause of the damage towards this facility, but the freezing water too. Basically, there are no other ways to handle the fire. That is why firefighters used lots of the water, which later on freezed under the severely cold temperatures. So we may say that at least this big building of the facility is kaput. And because Russia is under the sanctions, it would be very difficult for them to replace the damaged or destroyed equipment. The Ust-Luga port belongs to one of the biggest Russian oil and gas companies, which is the biggest private oil and gas company in Russia. Because of the fire in the place, Russia started to evacuate lots of the tankers from the port. This video was filmed by the towing crew and they evacuated one of the tanker. And let's look at the name of the tanker. It is Clear Ocean Apollon, kind of the big oil tanker, I would say. It is relatively new, built in 2019 and sailing under the flag of Liberia. On the other website, we may check the information about the ownership of the tanker. The registered owner is this company in Singapore, but the ship is operated by the company in Greece. Currently, the ship is over here together with the rest of the tankers. They were all evacuated from the port. All of the red dots on the map are the tankers. So why am I so focused on this particular crude oil tanker? Because I want to show you where the Russian oil goes. And here you can see the next destination of the tanker, the port of Vlissingen, Netherlands. It is one more example of how our Western allies continue to trade with Russia, supporting their economy. Meanwhile, Ukraine tries to cut the Russian oil export by targeting their oil and gas ports. The last month, Ukraine targeted the biggest Russian oil port in the Black Sea, Novorossiysk, and according to some of the rumors, Zelensky got the warning from our allies to stop targeting the Russian oil infrastructure of this port. Those are just the rumors, but something tells me that those are truths. Because even the United States of America are purchasing the oil from the Russian Federation. Yes, there were proofs about it too. Also, the biggest world oil producers like Saudi Arabia or UAE are buying the oil from the Russian Federation because it is damn cheap, so later they sell it as their own oil. But it seems like Ukraine doesn't care, and today's attack shows it. So Ukraine will continue to target the Russian port oil infrastructure. Now let's go briefly to the Frontline's update to the southern part of the Donetsk Oblast. So here's the place where Ukraine got some certain success near to Urozhaina. Let's go to the timeline. It was yesterday. Russia advanced at this place the day before yesterday, but today Ukraine repelled the Russian attack, causing them severe losses. I didn't tell about this Russian offensive yesterday because I was sure that our guys will repel them, because I already saw the video from the place. Russians advanced mostly with infantry, that's why I am unable to show you this video on the platform, because there were basically Russian soldiers disintegrating and flying around under the drone and artillery fire from Ukrainian side. So it is not for this platform for sure, but I have my Telegram channel where I post some of the other videos, so I highly recommend you to subscribe for my Telegram. You might find it in the video description just below. Let's go to Avdiivka. The good thing over there that there is no further movement from the Russian side today. It seems like Ukraine was finally able to stop the Russian advancement in two of those critical parts. About the losses for both of the sides in Avdiivka, we're speaking just about the vehicles, so since the attempt of the Russian army to encircle the city, they lost 531 units, so vehicles. Ukraine lost 43. And for the last week, Russia lost plus 43 of the units, Ukraine 6 units. It tells a lot about the scale and the ratio of the losses. Since the beginning of the war, Russia has never experienced those intense and huge losses in such a small part of the front line. Yes, you may say about Bakhmut, but the fight for Bakhmut was ongoing for more than 9 months. Here just 4 months, and Russia has those severe losses, which almost equal to Bakhmut. Ukraine continue widely use FPV drones to target the Russian armored vehicles and infantry. Is this some new Russian anti-drone technique? Just throwing your rifle towards the drone? I am not sure about it. Ukraine is also converting the agricultural drones into the military ones. Here you can see the anti-tank systems together with machine gun. Wow. The bad thing that those kind of the big drones are well spotted in the skies, and it's much easier to target them from the simple rifle. Not even saying about the Russian electronic warfare, which they use massively on the front lines. So we'll see how it goes. So far the most effective tool are the FPV drones. Ukraine used them massively, and they're very effective, as you may see on this video. The Telegraph says that Ukraine is digging its own defense lines on the eastern side of Ukraine and on the south. Those could be similar to the Russian-made Surovikin lines, which Russia constructed the last year. Those are very robust defense lines, but Ukraine could even overcome those. The good thing that Ukraine is building the defense line between Marinka and Kurakhove. Hopefully it will make the possible advancement of the Russian army towards Kurakhove impossible. About Avdiivka town, it's too late to build the defense lines in this place, because all of that territory is under the Russian artillery fire, which makes the engineering work impossible. Ukraine even puts the command centers under the ground in those kind of the round containers. Not just the command centers, but also the barracks for the soldiers, and this is very safe. Recent photos from the Sochi Adler airport shows that Russia sent one more A-50 aircraft for their surveillance missions. It means that they're very determined in continuing the operation using the AWACS airplanes. They need crucial data about the Ukrainian cruise missiles. For example, today Ukraine launched 2 of the cruise missiles to target the Sevastopol military infrastructure. Kabooms were reported, but there are no any kind of the evidence of the ground explosions. So Russia needs those airplanes. This tool is crucial for them to operate with their military. The active range of the radar installed on the Russian A-50 AWACS airplane is around 500 kilometers or a little bit more than 300 miles. So from the safe distance it may spot of what is happening in Dnipro city, for example. Not exactly in the city, but they may spot Ukrainian missiles or airplanes flying in this sector. The last week they tried to move closer to expand the range, but were kaput. Also remember this Russian airplane Ilyushin-22 that was also targeted by Ukrainian air defense but landed successfully in Anapa airport. Well, today we obtained the information from the Russian sources that the captain of that airplane died in the hospital because of the wounds. He wasn't just the ordinary captain, he was pilot instructor and a test pilot of the Russian Air Force, so quite a heavy loss for the Russian aviation. The first officer was also wounded, but because of him the airplane landed successfully, so he managed to land it. Today, President Zelensky said that he doesn't see the necessity in mobilizing around 500,000 new men into the Ukrainian army. I think that it is quite logical. If you go for defense, you need less forces, and we need Ukrainian people, Ukrainian citizens who pay taxes in their usual civilian lives. So mobilization is not always good with this large scale, but this year obviously Ukraine will hire more soldiers. It's the constant process. The Russian Falcon Gazprom jet today crash-landed in Afghanistan mountains. I thought at first that there were some of the Gazprom VIPs, but actually it was the evacuation flight for one of the entrepreneur family who got the vacation in Thailand and went severely sick, so Gazprom tried to evacuate all of them but crash-landed because of the technical failure, they say. Totally there were 6 persons on board and 4 survived. There were several articles published today by the mainstream media showing the proofs that Iran is controlling all of the Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis and Syrian militia. As you can see on this picture, it is not some sort of the opening. We understood this stuff before, that Iran is responsible for the escalation of everything in the Middle East recently. But they always officially say that no, it's not us. We even do not supply drones to the Russian Federation, but somehow they got them. So what do Russia, North Korea, China and Iran do? They test democratic world, they test the United States of America and the European Union. Their final goal is to build a new world order with dictatorship in power. Doesn't matter what ideology, Russian peace, communism, fanatics, they want to rule in dictatorship style. That's their goal. That is why they unite. If the free world wouldn't act properly, my friends, they will win. Democracy should have power to act at first. You see how at the same time those dictators start to act, North Korea, Russia, Iran, so the next move is for China. Will they try the military operation in Taiwan? Well, they might try it, but I think they will fail with it. By the way, soon Putin is going to visit North Korea. Probably they will discuss their future escalation plans. My friends, don't forget to press your huge like to this video. By doing so, you help me a lot. And also, if you want to support my job, you may check some of the links in a video description just below. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters and also the sponsors of my YouTube channel. Guys, you help me a lot. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.